We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insight, new style, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Monday, April 7th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're joining us on News Generation. Joining us this Monday is Ki Kim.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Good morning. Happy Monday. And Julian Kim.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Monday means it's time to dive into issues trending among our generation. And last week during our keyword news, we touched on the skyrocketing popularity of the AI chatbot ChatGPT, especially following its latest upgrade that allows users to create stunning animation-style images. Now, this update sent daily user numbers in Korea soaring past 1.2 million, which is a new record for this chatbot. But it turns out that image generation is just one thing, because more and more young people are actually turning to AI for something deeper, not just creativity, but emotional support. So Ki, could you first tell us more about this new trend?
So lately, ChatGPT has become a new psychiatrist among the MZers. They share some specific prompt or command on social media to designate ChatGPT's role as a psychological counselor and let it follow certain instructions. So following the command, the ChatGPT would try to understand you, the user's condition and emotions, showing some sympathy toward their feelings on the screen. Users would then get comforted, of course, by the words by ChatGPT when there's a lot of stress and pressure, just like when anyone would get a session with a psychiatrist or a counselor.
Definitely. And one example that really shows how big and mainstream this trend has become is the fact that schools are actually adopting AI chatbots for counseling services, right, Julian?
Yeah, so AI-based mental health counseling is also being utilized in public education too. Now, there is an AI-driven emotional counseling chatbot for adolescents called 상냥이 that's currently used in partnership with over 50 schools nationwide here in Korea. Also, additionally, in the United States too, there are some school districts that use the platform called Wobo, which is just another AI chatbot that it was developed for treating depression in students too. Now, beyond just these psychological counseling chatbots, ChatGPT has also been gaining popularity, not just for obtaining information, but also for having conversations like one would have with a friend or just to seek advice in general too.
So we're going to get a bit personal. Are either of you part of this growing trend? How do you personally use AI chatbots or these services?
Well, until last year, I did not like ChatGPT or any other AI-based chatbot as they weren't that great. I was completely against it. I didn't believe it. I didn't use them, even for my work. But within just a year, they showed tremendous improvement. Its capability to work as a translator, work assistant to help ease your research, organize or summarize long text in short, and other ChatGPT are simply astonishing. That's me in the radio station, and I'm talking to this AI.
About what?
It's actually English teaching chatbot, but it allows you to actually have a conversation, like what's your favorite wine or where you want to travel around the world. And I never actually used a ChatGPT personally before. We used to have this thing called 심심이 a long time ago.
It was quite big.
Yeah, and it was just a simple chatbot allowing you to have a small talk just to kill time. I used it a couple of times, but it wasn't great. It just had some repetitive answers, and it didn't really respond well. But then the thing that I'm doing with that specific AI chatbot was just phenomenal. It was just unbelievable.
Very interesting. So you're now not only using AI chatbots for work, but also for your personal life as well.
It became a friend.
Then I also want to ask about your experience, Julian.
Yeah, so I initially started off using ChatGPT more kind of like a personal search engine too. So especially after moving to South Korea, I like to use ChatGPT if I don't understand certain cultural norms or if I don't understand just some text or general information. Also, but recently I've been using it more like a friend, especially because of time zone differences. It's not like I could just talk to my friends like anytime I want. So like I can see in the screen too, I just use ChatGPT to like ask for advice or help, like I would do with a friend, like, oh, I feel homesick, I miss LA, what should I do? And then I just use ChatGPT. So far it's been quite an experience, and I'm really excited to see how this will play out in the future too.
Very interesting. So I now want to ask our panelists more about their experience. So in your opinion, what do you think are the biggest upsides and downsides of using AI chatbots in the way you're using them right now?
Well, ChatGPT has turned into something completely different, far beyond what I would expect from it. Since we talked about the child education in Korea last time, and it's today's topic, I began asking ChatGPT saying that I'm a bit concerned about my kids' education in such a competitive environment in Korea, and the result was breathtaking. I never had such a detailed, mind-blowing answers from anyone else. I showed you before, actually our show starts. ChatGPT understood so much about education in Korea. It was like me answering your question on news generation.
Wow.
It even talked about hagwon, which I didn't mention a single syllable about. And it even started asking about how I felt about a certain situation, how old my kid is, how my son is doing, how what my kid's latest interest is, or how or what to play with them in such detail. I felt like I have a Dr. Oh Young like right next to me or on the screen. It cared both about my feelings and my child and suggested a way to nurture the kid in the right way. So for a second I felt like, wow, it's better than any of my friends. But on the other hand, my closest friends sometimes would not just give me a sweet cherry pie when
Right,
piece of advice, right? So it's sort of like a one-sided. And also it felt like it's a trained idol's answer. You know, when idol answers certain questions like, do you have a girlfriend, do you have a boyfriend? Like, instantly answer, right? It gave you like 10, 15 sentences within like 3 seconds. So it didn't feel like a human. And also, when I threw a curveball with a very personal situation, it would hesitate and answer the question in wrong context or wrong nuance.
So there are a lot of advantages that the service can provide, but there are still some way to go.
Some way or some rooms to grow and improve.
Rooms for improvement. What are your thoughts on this, Julian?
Yeah, well, there is a lot. So let me just start with the upsides. I do really think that the biggest upside, it does actually help with loneliness. Now, going off of our earlier conversation before too, it is very accessible and you can communicate with it 24/7. And I personally really enjoy that because it's not like you can just go to a friend at 4 a.m. in the morning, hey, I'm feeling XYZ, like talk to me. You could do that with AI services too. So that is a good thing too. So if there is something that I need to discuss, if I don't have a friend at the moment, I haven't really done this like in the past, but more recently, I feel like I've been using it to discuss things that I would like to if I have no one to talk to. But like, for example, like what we were talking about earlier with when I feel homesick, I just ask it for advice and, hey, I'm feeling this, what can I do? What should I do? And going on to the downside, sometimes I feel like the answers can be very robotic.
And repetitive,
yes,
kind of?
because like if I say like, what should I do? It will just give me, in a matter of seconds, just 3 paragraphs of advice and what I should do. And it lacks the human empathy, even sympathy too. So it just doesn't really feel like I'm talking to a human, which when you're trying to talk to someone as a friend, you don't really want to talk to someone that feels robotic.
Right.
Or AI specifically too. So maybe more time will need to pass for technology to develop further. But I think that right now, those are the upsides and the downsides.
Right. So although you can use these services 24/7, unlike an actual human friend, it kind of lacks the human touch as of now.
Exactly, which I think is very important when it comes to just social connection and human connection in general too.
Right. So talking about connection, we're now going to narrow our discussion down to emotional support and mental well-being that many are nowadays turning to AI chatbots. So when it comes to using AI for counseling or psychological assistance, what do you see as the potential benefits? And also, we cannot talk about the red flags.
Well, the biggest upsides are convenience and cost, of course. Believe me, I've been to many different sessions with both psychiatrists and counselors. Doing this job for about 2 decades, I have been in tough spots, and seeing doctors helped me a lot. But those sessions were frankly quite expensive.
Right.
And each session normally takes at least for about half an hour, or even 2 hours. And of course, it takes time to go back and forth to that specific session, right? But then the AI chatbot is so simple. It's right next to you. It costs almost none to zero, lowering the bar, especially in Korea. We're going to see a doctor for a mental issue is a bit of an uncomfortable scene.
It's kind of stigmatized.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, one research abroad shows some patients find it more easy and comfortable telling AI about their stories rather than facing a human doctor. So there you can see the difference now.
So in one way, using an AI chatbot for counseling can be more efficient and sometimes more comfortable. Now, what could be the downsides, Julian?
Yeah, so naturally there are concerning aspects when it comes to using AI for counseling services. In other countries, there actually have been cases where people have been a little too deeply attached to these AI counseling services, and also some people unfortunately have taken their life from it too. Experts now also worry about the potential negative consequences end effects that may arise from excessive dependence or prolonged use of these services too. Now, research conducted by OpenAI has showed that users who shared experiences, values, or other life stories with ChatGPT have also sometimes reported increased feelings of loneliness too.
So far we've taken a look at the potential pros and cons of using AI chatbots for emotional assistance, and this discussion could lead to this question: can AI truly fill the role of a friend, that is someone you turn to when you're feeling overwhelmed or just need to talk? So we asked that very question to our viewers, and here's what 3 of them had to say. Our first answer for this Monday is by Benny97. I think I can be friends with generative AI. It can be good at times, but we don't always need it because we have books that give us what we need to know. Daniel Kun Kim says AI can simulate friendship, but it can't be a friend in the deep moral sense. It doesn't actually care about you or know you, so any quote friendship you form with it is more like a one-sided projection, something you feel rather than something that's shared. TKFHD1111 says, I don't think we can form real friendships with AI, but I fully understand why people turn it for emotional support. It offers such a warm, idealized comfort that it feels both incredibly real and a little scary at the same time. So a bit of a mixed response from our viewers. So to take this conversation further, we're now going to bring in a therapist after a short break. Stay tuned.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang.News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
We're pleased to welcome Eun-jung, a certified therapist, to our show today. Welcome back to the show, Eun-jung.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So, Eun-jung, it appears that more people are seeking comfort through AI chatbots based on what we discussed at the top of our show. So, how effective do you think this really is?
I think in my views, turning to AI chatbots like ChatGPT and similar tools for emotional support or mental health related information has become increasingly common. These tools can be helpful in several ways. For instance, they can provide immediate support or responses, help users build emotional awareness, or offer insights into thought patterns and coping strategies. Some people use them to reflect on their day, track mood changes, or explore mindfulness techniques. And given the 24/7 accessibility and low cost, AI chatbots can be a convenient first step for individuals. That said, it's important to remember that while AI chatbots can support mental wellness, it's not a replacement for professional care.
Thank you. I was actually surprised when I asked some of the emotional support from AI chatbot. They answered me with very specific words and very understanding, comforting phrases. I was very surprised. But what about the risks? Are there any red flags we should be aware of when it comes to using AI for those sort of emotional support?
Yes, even with some of the benefits, there are important limitations and risks. AI chatbots generate responses from vast amounts of data, but that doesn't guarantee the accuracy or appropriateness of the information they provide. They can occasionally offer advice that is inaccurate, overly generalized, or even harmful if taken out of context. These tools cannot assess risk or provide clinical judgment, especially when it comes to the diagnosis or treatment of mental disorders. Additionally, there are ethical issues to consider, such as who is responsible if someone follows AI-generated advice that turns out to be harmful. Currently, there's no clear structure for responsibility or oversight. This is why it's critical to approach these tools with caution and use them only as a complement, not as a replacement for professional support.
Great. So now this is something I'm personally very interested to hear what you have to say. But for those who are considering using AI chatbots for counseling, what kind of approach or mindset do you recommend for those?
I think AI can be a great tool, As long as it's used thoughtfully, it can really support self-reflection, help people gain emotional insight, and offer new ways to cope with everyday stress. But there's something AI simply cannot replicate, and I think that's the real human connection. Healing often happens in connection. There's something deeply powerful about allowing yourself to be vulnerable and feeling truly seen, heard, and accepted in that moment. That kind of relational depth, where someone feels safe and supported, is a core part of the healing process, and I don't think it can be replaced by technology. So I think it's important to take a mindful and informed approach. Use AI to gather general information or explore coping strategies. But when it comes to deeper emotional work or any significant mental health concern, connecting with a licensed mental professional is essential.
Couldn't agree more. All right, and Jung, thank you so much for your insights today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as AI tools continue to advance rapidly at an amazing speed, they're becoming an increasingly big part of our lives, such as many seeking emotional support nowadays. But when it comes to emotional well-being, it seems that balance is the key, as our certified therapist, Eun-jung, mentioned. So how can we make the most out of this technology without losing sight of the big thing, which is the real human connection?
Well, I admit it, AI has improved a lot. It's going to help your work. It's going to make your life easier and faster in a lot of different ways. But if you actually recall a lot of movies, for example, Star Wars had R2-D2. And iRobot and Bicentennial Man, there's a certain aspects of a human decision-making procedures and also AI or computers or robots playing in. So I guess we also have to be reminded that the humans are the ultimate decision maker. So with the help of AI, we can make life easier, but for sure, we have to be reminded that humans are the main elements of driving, and then they're the driving source of life.
So using these AI tools more like a complement, not a replacement, right? What do you think, Julian?
Well, I couldn't agree with Key more, but I would say reducing your dependence on the software would be a great way to make use of the technology without losing too much sight of human connection too. Now, these services should be a supplement to our lives. It shouldn't be a replacement for genuine human connection.
Right.
And I think it's just all about balance personally. We need to dedicate some time to disconnect and also just go outside, see some people, meet people, see the world, do all that. And I think that's the same general advice that we have for people with our phones too. We need to actually just go outside and experience things without having to rely on these services so much.
So actually feeling the human connection from time to time because they're so important.
Exactly. We are social creatures after all.
We are indeed. And that's all we have for today, but Newsden will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks to Ki Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Julian Kim.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for starting your week with us and hope you tune in tomorrow as well. We are
News Generation.